Hello, my name is Professor Roberto Olguin, and I'm joined by my lovely colleague, Madeline Ringer.
Dr. Madeline Ringer.
My bad, Professor Dr. Supreme Madeline Ringer.
Supreme Grand Leader.
Today we'll be going over the sack of Rome to Justinian, its art.
Yes. The sack of Rome was a very monumental moment in European history.
Very.
A Germanic tribe of Vandals were led by a king, Genseric. They invaded the city. The city was pillaged for 2 weeks, and it caused widespread destruction that ran rampant across the city. And this was the sack of Rome, and we will be discussing the art that was produced during this period.
Alright. We got some key ideas to go over. Religion will play a key role in the art here. Churches will continue to be built along patterns set by the Justinian architects from decades past. Lots of churches will use mosaics as vessels to portray their different themes, mostly of religion. Naturalism will lose its prevalence to more straightforward imagery. People will be depicted with less depth, a lot of them will be more 2D. And you have golden backgrounds representing the spiritual world, the heavens.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Just in time for Halloween.
Professor?
Now, by Santa, yep.
Please read.
Okay, by Santa, we do not mean ho 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 Santa.
No.
We mean like saints. But Santa is saints in Spanish.
Like Santa Ana.
Yeah. And head cluster is another term that we're going to be discussing, or we're going to be mentioning a lot. It's a way of representing a crowd, just without going into crazy details. So it's called head cluster. So there's just a bunch of heads, right? And
But
they're
no
clustered.
probodies.
Yeah, there's like a few bodies.
Just
But more
in time
heads
for
than bodies.
Halloween!
Yeah! We also have, Bobby, you want to get the next one, Doctor?
Oh yeah. So we've also going to see some cruciforms, which is like a physical manifestation of a cross. It's a cross-shaped building. You see it with a lot of like churches or sometimes mausoleums. It can used to be denote a supernatural being, or just a saint, as halos are commonly used. No, wait, that's the wrong thing.
That was a nimbus.
That was a nimbus. A nimbus is like a sort of cloud or halo that typically goes over their head, and it's meant to denote a supernatural being, or a saint, as I said, are commonly used today, connotated for angels.
Yes.
That's
We
the wrong way.
skipped around, but a martyr is someone that is killed for religious or other beliefs, so that can go along with the saint. Yeah.
Jesus would be a martyr.
Yes.
He's
he
the
was.
martyr.
Yes. The original martyr. I was just told about like 30 minutes ago that it's pronounced Byzantine. I've been saying Byzantine.
The
But it's
Byzantine.
I thought it was Byzantine.
Speaking of Byzantine, the Byzantine mosaics were made from small glass, stone, ceramic, or any other materials. They're known as tesserae, the little black pieces.
They can reflect light.
They can.
Ooh.
Actually, like, they're known to reflect light. They get all shiny.
Just
And
in
they're meant
time
to,
for
they inspire a
Halloween.
feeling of awe. And like being encapsulated in the spiritual realm, or in the presence of God.
They're very glittery. It's like ancient glitter up here.
So we're going to be going over 4 pieces of art today. The parting of Abraham and Lot. Christ is a good shepherd of the mausoleum of Galla Placidia. The miracle of loaves and fishes from Sant'Apollinare Novo. And the saints,
Novo?
the 2 saints frieze of Agios Georgios. Ms. Ringer?
Okay. Yes. So this is the parting of Abraham and Lot mosaic in the nave of Santa Maria Maggiore, Roma, Italia.
432,
And
440.
yes, it is a tesserae mosaic featured in the central portion of the church.
The artwork shows a head cluster with Abraham on the left heading to the left for Canaan and Lot on the right heading for Sodom. The enlarged hands are meant to get across the idea of the two going separate ways, and it emphasizes like their, what is it, their body language? Like one of them saying, I'm going this way. It's like, okay, but I'm going this way, bro.
Yes, and you can see their faces.
And on the
Yes.
next slide, you can see these two children at their sides. On the left here, we have Isaac, who's meant to be the vessel of good, the instrument of good. While on the right are the two daughters who are the instruments of evil.
This piece is meant to show when Abraham and Lot split paths.
Yes. This is derived from the first book of the Bible, where God told Abraham to go to Canaan and told Lot to go to Sodom. Now, what do
I
you
do
think of
quite
this
like the
piece,
Bible.
Maddie?
I do quite like the Bible. Isn't this the book of Genesis?
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's the first book of
It's
the
a lot of
Bible.
begotten.
The artwork itself is very cool. I like the facial expressions.
I think it's fun that the children are just tiny adults, as
It is, and
as a great professor, Miss Escobar would say, tiny human.
all right.
This is Miracle of the Loaves and Fishes mosaic from the top register of the nave wall of Santa Apollinare Nuovo Ravenna, Italy.
504.
Yes, and it is a Byzantine mosaic with a gold background. And Dr. Robert, why don't you explain what a gold background is good for?
The gold background. It depicts
Yeah.
a heavenly setting, like a divine world. It's meant to separate it from like the normal world. You know, it's a divine situation.
Yes, heavenly.
The mosaic has it depicts Jesus facing the viewer, handing out bread and fish to his people. And as I said, the golden background is meant to accentuate the spirituality of the situation here. The image purposely depicts few figures because it wants to be as straightforward as possible. And if you look closer, you can see that Jesus' arms are like spread out, which you could interpret as like a reference to his crucifixion.
You could also take this as he's T-posing. to a
You
certain
could, although
element.
I do not think they were referencing
I don't.
T-posing.
I also do
It
not
is
think.
possible. I will not. You know,
It is,
we'll do a paper on
it's
that.
not something to rule out. It's all speculation here.
Now, one more thing to notice is if you look closely, you can see the nimbus around Christ's head here, which
It's a little difficult to see, but
it
you
is
can
a little bit
definitely
difficult to see.
You
but-
can see it through the orientation of the tesserae.
But shown here and throughout the Byzantine art, the Christ around the head is meant to represent Christ. Or not the Christ, the nimbus around the head is meant to represent Christ. Ms. Ringer?
Yes. The mosaic is situated within this church, and being depicted in a church, it makes sense that it's depicting a religious scene.
Yeah, the mosaic was among many within the church, along with serving as decorating purpose and ambience. The mosaic also featured like parts of Jesus' life. Not just this one, but all the mosaics within the church. They feature different parts of his life and like different things that he did.
Going on from that, we do have our next piece.
Yes.
Yes, it is Christ as Good Shepherd mosaic from the entrance north, wall of the Mausoleum of Galla Placidia, Ravenna, Italy, CA 425. And this is placed above the entrance, and it is placed above the entrance of the mausoleum, a cruciform building, and it is made of the brightly colored glass tesserae.
It's the Mausoleum of Galla Placidia, an Empress of Rome, or Empress of Western Rome. The Western Roman Empire. It got a bit confusing. So the mosaic shows a young Christ dressed in elegant clothing, sitting among a flock of 6 sheep. He's depicted beardless, so it like he's young. Usually he's depicted old and with a beard, but then this says he's young. And again, he has the halo above his head, or the nimbus. So it's obviously Christ.
Duh.
Yeah. So Christ's depiction here is a shepherd, because symbolizes him as like leading the faithful, as a shepherd would lead his herd. And in this particular mosaic, the background is shown as blue. So where the gold is used to show like the heavens, then the blue could be used to show earth, and this like shows Jesus' humanity.
Yes, because he was half human.
Of course.
Yes, from his human mother, Mary. Do love me some good old Mother Mary.
So the mosaic, while serving as decoration for the mausoleum, could have also symbolized Christ himself leading the soul of the deceased empress.
And the mausoleum that this mosaic is situated within, it was meant for the empress, but historians now believe that Galla Placidia died in Rome but was not buried there. This mosaic, among several others, depict Christian iconography, and as Christ being depicted as a shepherd, depicts him as faithful, like a shepherd leading his flock. Well, what do you say to that, Dr. Robert?
I think it's a very good observation of the scene. No. Personally, this is my favorite of the pieces we'll cover today. I think it's just a very peaceful scene. What do you think?
I like this one as well. I like the sheep.
The colors look very nice.
Very sheepy.
Ooh, well said, well said.
I mean, I'm counting them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm getting sleepy.
All right, moving on to our final piece. We have the 2 saints detail mosaic frieze of the lower zone of the dome, Hagios Georgia's Church of St. George, Thessaloniki, Greece, first half of the 6th century. What do you have to say about this, Ms. Winger?
So this is as you can see, the part of the bottom bands of the mosaics in the dome, or the Rotunda of Hagios Georgios, it's a very large and symmetrical mosaic, although not very preserved well.
No, sadly. The mosaic
Yes,
features 2 saints with large shrouds covering most of their features except their hands and heads. And both saints are shown standing with their arms raised in a gesture of prayer. And the priests are standing in front of an intricate architecture with peacocks, other birds, and crosses placed upon it. Behind that, the background is completely gold, like the miracle of
Yes.
miracle of loaves and fishes. So yeah, it again represents the heavenly realm. Sorry.
Yes. And this likely served as decoration for the large rotunda at the top of the Hagios Georgios. The heavenly image's placement at the top could symbolize heaven being above us, as the rotunda being a sort of glimpse to heaven, kind of like a really weird skylight.
Yeah. So this mosaic was only part of what was a much larger band of mosaics found within the rotunda of the church. And then there are actually 2 bands with one more band on top of it, although that one's pretty much completely gone. It's sadly mostly destroyed.
Yes.
The building was thought to originally be the mausoleum of Caesar Galerius. However, during the reign of the Byzantine Empire, the building was converted into a church. And that was likely when the mosaics were placed into the church. So we're glad you could come to our lecture today.
Thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
Truly, it was quite the experience.
Yes. I quite liked researching how the gold background depicts heaven.
Yes, and the nimbus around Christ's head was very eye-opening.
Yes. Open like a halo, like a nimbus.
All right. Well, please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment on this video. Amen.
Yes, in Escobar we trust.